Welcome, exile, to the ring. I am Kurai. While you are here, you will do no harm to any of its members. You are a guest of the ring, and the boss has no tolerance for guests who do not obey his rules. What goes around comes around, if you will excuse the aphorism. Take your time and look around. Introduce yourself to the others here. When you are ready, find me. The ring has a job for you, if you are willing. The ring operates outside whatever semblance of the law remains out here. But lawlessness does not exclude civility, and does not need to create chaos. If someone is intent on taking what is not theirs, better to have a professional handle it, and avoid unnecessary violence and confusion. The ring is contracted by those who seek a solution to the misallocation of resources. We assign members based on the needs of the job, and we take a small cut. Everyone wins, other than the target of our work. The ring operates based on favors. Markers allow us to track those favors, and to ensure no one is taking advantage of, or being taken advantage of, by any other ring member. They are also how you got here. You'll excuse me if that seemed obvious. At times I must deal with people whose talents are not intellectual in nature. What is valuable to you or I may not be valuable to the boss or Faustus. Where you see a worthless trinket, another may see a precious heirloom, or the final piece in a lifelong collection. Contracts allow our clients to hire the ring to pursue goods that hold no objective value on the client's behalf. Sometimes that value comes from knowing the original owner no longer has it. The ring makes few moral judgments on what it is hired to obtain. So long as it is not breathing and it is not liable to put the entire ring at risk, we will not turn a contract down, and neither should you. Dominus was a terrible human being, but the ring owes a great debt to him. Without his overzealous exilings, the ring would not have a rich pool of talent to draw upon. The boss himself learned a great deal about the power of anonymity and mythos from Dominus, lessons he employs today. A king is human, mortal, vulnerable to the same temptations and vices as are we all. A legend lives on for as long as it is told, its meaning and message shifting to fit the needs of the speaker or the audience. Holmes seems to have found himself stuck somewhere in the middle. The greatest lesson to take away from the story of the fallen Karui king is this: a leader is nothing without the loyalty of their followers. And I suppose that those followers should still have their heads attached. I do not like to talk about my younger days, except to say that I did what I had to in order to survive, and I am glad that time is behind me. It takes a lot to surprise me, but I must admit, I did not expect to contend with the divine in my lifetime. It goes to show that there's a seed of truth in every story. The boss is an extraordinarily busy man, so I enact his orders and allocate tasks to members as needed on his behalf. I am, for all intents and purposes, his administrator. If you have any issues, please take them to me, and I can raise it with the boss when he is available. Anytime.
I am Adia. I will enable your travel to and from locations of interest. I once served a worthy Sekama. The boss is no Sekama. He rules through deception, obfuscation, and manipulation. However, if he agrees to do something, he will do it. That in itself is a form of honor, which I can respect. He expects the same of us. In exchange for a place here, I have agreed to use my skills to enable the travels of this wretched heap of Roadang. And that is what I will do. My word is my bond.
Got something needs made or unmade? I can take them apart as fast as I put them together, sometimes faster. Or is it the other way around? I've had an idea just now for a spinning device that... Oh yes, my name is Isla. I'm an engineer. Welcome. The boss? Oof, it's inefficient to ask about the boss, believe me. You'll go round and round a spinning gear in a machine made of secret parts. The one thing you should never rely on is a mechanism you don't understand. It's liable to implode or explode. Neither is pretty when your arse is sitting up on it hoping to fly somewhere. The boss put in an order for an air sail once for a job. Impossible, I told Kurai. Turned out it worked. It just didn't go with the poor sod we hired. It stayed with us in flames while he took to the skies. He achieved a perfect parabolic arc right onto the tower we were aiming for. Survived the trip too, judging by the screaming. But getting back down, the boss never ordered a falling machine. That's on him. Gotta think things through, mind you. Back to work.
I'm cast. Rather than waste my youth reading, I put that time to better use. Now I can pick just about any lock you're likely to come across. A man of style, the boss. A thief, of course, wants to be rich and live a life of luxury. But once you hit a certain point of wealth, I imagine you might be motivated by other things. Apparently, the boss was living very comfortably indeed, but felt the need to challenge himself. He entered the first bank of Theopolis in the middle of the day, entered the vault, and just started moving stuff around. Octavius' family fortunes into the Maxia's deposit box. Avarius riches split across every small safe, each of which he popped open as if there weren't even a lock on him. Mixing all the money up like it were caught in the tides. Then he goes and finds the records of deposits and withdrawals and sets them on fire. Walks out like nothing happened. Well, of course the bank puts the fire out, but the records are gone. So they notify all the big customers, telling them to come in with their copy of the deposit slips. And wouldn't you know it, they're gone too. No bloody idea how he pulled it off. Of course, the bank and all the clients will deny it ever happened. It's foolish not to. Good chat.
Talamoana and good tidings. I'm Fakano, though most people know me as the barber. If you need a trim and tidy, then take a seat. But a little fishy told me you may be more interested in a conversation than a cut. A man like myself traveling around as much as I do hears a lot of things. Everyone needs their haircut once in a while, and I am a very attentive listener. Some of the things I hear could be very lucrative to people with certain, shall we say, unscrupulous ambitions. Drop a few markers in the tip jar, and I may accidentally drop some of my meticulously well-kept notes. Interesting man. Very interesting indeed. Careless as the day he came into this world. No need for a man of my trade, you see. Yet bald as he may be, he knows the value of a good barber. No one here knows much about the boss's past, except maybe Kurai. And she won't tell you much, not even for a mountain of markers. Loyalty is the most valuable currency. And she and the boss have a lifetime supply. I tried to find out what I could. Conflicting tales of a smuggler kingpin, a Theopolan aristocrat, and strange enough, a retired arena champion. Then Kurai told me to stop sniffing around, else I end up like the last barber. Or maybe she said I'll end up the last barber. Either way, I value my life and my work more than I value gossiping about an old, bald gladiatorial smuggler. Troubling news coming out of Oriath. I know you weren't just involved, but smack dab in the middle of things. I also know you aren't to blame. Not directly, anyway. Still, you might imagine that I feel some animosity about the whole situation. Not least of all because the presence of Kitava is quite literally a doomsday scenario for my people. I trust you'll sort it out. Because if you don't, we're through. And I don't just mean no more business. Listen, I don't want to be a naysayer, but before you started coming around here, we didn't have none of this god nonsense. They were just characters and stories, ways to get the kiddos to eat their greens, and that was fine. In fact, I preferred it that way. Now, we've got characters coming to life, and then you're killing them. You're killing our heroes. Tukohama was one of the good guys. You better finish what you started. The rebellion was a long time coming, if you ask me. What you did. And if you ask me what you didn't, I reckon the bloodshed was inevitable. The gods rising up? That one, I will admit, took me by surprise. So now the Karui are sailing back home. Good. But anger has a tendency to linger like a bad smell, and the enslaved are justifiably angry. It may take a long time before that anger fades. It may never. Let's say you're a wealthy Oriathan slave merchant. You're out there selling people to other people, really raking in the coin off the back of racial divides. Then one day, those people you've been selling start killing the people you've been selling them to. That's gotta be bad for business, right? Time to cut your losses? Sadly, no. Slavers have had their pride badly bruised. They're out there, right now, looking for Karui men, women, even children, and kidnapping them. No one's heard from the Taken since. You think they're getting sold to new owners? Not a chance. They're being tortured, murdered. The slavers see this as revenge, but it is nothing more than evil for evil's sake. A lot of bad things have come from the rise of Kitava. But this, for me, this is the worst.
Oh, another green footpad. The turnover here. Listen carefully, for I do not like to repeat myself. My name is Faustus. I am your fence. If you have something of value, you come to me. Understood? Every other day, we have some brain-dead upstart who thinks they can circumvent the system. Oh, they go gallivanting around proclaiming the founder, Gilded Wanderer or some such. Either the Templar or another less charitable organization gets wind of it, and we never see them again. Well, sometimes we see parts of them, usually on a pike or smeared across the ground at the base of the towers. I am here for a reason. I am your protector. I am what stands between you and a very short life as a fugitive. I am your plausible deniability. Follow the rules, and you will grow wealthy and stay healthy. Ah, the boss. The big man. The man of 1,000 faces. Or no face, depending on who you ask. He's cultivated quite the reputation. I fancy myself a connoisseur of the truth, and I have yet to hear a story about the boss that has the wondrous ring to it that only true stories have. But, well, I have certain connections, and those connections have certain connections who have turned up some very striking truths about this mysterious figure. I'm not about to run my mouth to a thief, but let me tell you, those definitely not true stories you keep hearing, the truth is even stranger. A fence like myself provides a thief like yourself the means to offload ill-gotten goods for something you'll find more useful. In this case, Marcus. I take those goods and sell them to the nobility for something I find more useful, coin and prestige. As a captain in the Navy, it's not entirely unusual to confiscate illicit goods from pirates and smugglers, and the nobility happily reward me for retrieving their valuables from the hands of evil. Oh, sometimes I'll even return it pro bono if the owner's station may afford me certain privileges down the road. The job carries with it certain risks, but were a thief such as yourself to try to speak out against me, well, you'd only be incriminating yourself in the process. It'll be your word against mine. And who is a judge more likely to believe? It's awful business what happened to Oriath. Terrible, just terrible. I was lucky, safely out at sea with my crew. I hope those responsible are held accountable, barring those with whom I have ongoing business, of course. I suspect they were merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. Can't blame someone for having rotten luck. Happy hunting!
Round here, people call me Tibbs. Not the quietest little sneak, and I'm not exactly nimble with these big sausage fingers. But if you find yourself on the wrong side of something heavy, you wish you thought to hire me. Heard the boss got his start as a stable boy in the Grand Arena. Used to feed and care for the chariot horses. That was his first job, and it led to his first, job. Apparently, someone asked him to slip something into the feed of the Octavius family's finest stallion, greatly favoured to win the race. Paid him a week's worth of his normal wages. Boss figured it was some sort of poison, so he watched the man place a bet and poisoned that horse as well. Neither died, but neither won. And the boss, betting his wages on a horse he knew to be fit as a gladiator, took home a killing. Of course, that was also his last day of gainful employment at the arena. The man stalked those stables for months trying to find him. No worries.
A client wishes to utilize our services. The boss would like to offer you the opportunity to assist member cast on this job. There is room yet in the ring if you can handle the work. The details are on the contract. I suggest you review it before you set off. Speak to Aria when you are ready. She will get you within range of the mark. And try to keep your partner safe so he may do what he is best at. Cast is not as tough as he believes, but the boss has never seen another lockpick as talented. A client wishes to utilize our services. Stay safe.
Keep it simple, yeah? Hope this ain't all on me. Things start going south in there. Don't expect me to save you. Hear that? We ain't alone. Place is crawling with guards. You're here to make sure they don't kill us both.
Be wary. Intruder! Who goes there?
Incoming.
Come on, keep up.
We got company.
Trespasser!
Incoming.
Hey, you!
Nah, go on. You got it. Plenty more where that came from, I reckon.
I command you to stop!
This'll be I'll pick any locks that get in our way.
Means death!
You keep me alive. Yeah? Not quick, but not hard. Consider your actions, yeah? We don't want too much attention.
Intruder!
Yeah. Yeah.
Thieves, die! Thieves, die! Seize them!
Should have stayed out of it.
Seize them!
Easy.
Failure means death.
Incoming. That's what I'm here for.
I command you to stop.
Ern's on the other side of this door. So we can get out of here.
Surrender or die.
Wasn't worth it, was it?
No further.
This'll be quick. I think this is what we're here for. Wait, hear that? We've been made. Grab what you can and head out.
That's the way we came, rookie.
Not even close, mate.
I am no beast of burden.
Keep them off me! Get! We're still breathing, Rook. So you ain't done half bad. Take that urn to Faustus, yeah? He'll sort you out.
I know who owns this. Completed your first contract? Well, nearly. A contract isn't technically complete until the goods are in the hands of the client. You give me the urn, and I'll give you the markers you've earned. I yearn for the urn to give you what you've earned. What fun. Don't go spending your markers all in one place. That, my friend, is a little joke. You see, they're only good here, so to imply you could spend them elsewhere is very humorous indeed. I like you, Exile. Don't do anything stupid and ruin that. Happy hunting.
I hope you enjoyed your first job. Cast spoke highly of you. Well, he did not outright speak poorly of you, which for Cast means a great deal. The items you procure should be exchanged with Faustus for markers. In addition to allowing entry onto Ring premises, markers can be redeemed with the residents of the Ring for various goods and services, including blueprints. Please do not hesitate to speak to me if you need further elucidation. I suggest you return to your ordinary duties, whatever they may be, until another contract crosses your path. Though contracts allow the ring to keep spinning, we are skilled professionals, and skilled professionals wish to test the limits of their skills. The ring has obtained the layouts of locations known to hold objects of great value. Naturally, these locations are heavily protected and patrolled, and to pull off a job in such a location requires a team. The boss is happy to provide blueprints for these highly secure locations and access to the skills and resources needed to strip such a location bare. For a price. Complete contracts, earn markers, and you will be able to utilize those services.
This is neither the time nor the place.
How you going? You've the dip of the mighty Black Crest under your feet, and old Whalem himself to man the helm. Well, I'll be a pirate's monkey, mate. You sure do know how to travel in style, Exile.
Good tidings to you. Yeah, I know the Brine King. What pirate doesn't? Drown me fair share of mutineers under the full moon. To keep the old king's slumber when storms threaten, you see. If he's been roused from the depths, it'd be nothing but ill tidings for those of us with air in our lungs. He'll be getting back to raping and eating us ocean-going folks soon enough. Stealing wombs in which to spawn his slithering offspring. Aye, that blasphemy is out there somewhere right now, I'd wager. And to think there'd still be folks needing transport from Oriath. more commissions to be had. But a lecherous sea god, now, that complicates things. Time and tide wait for no man.
Hail. We've campaigned together for many years. It's taken a great toll on him, but he soldiers on. I don't know how he remains so cheery, honestly. If he loses another limb, he'll be more metal than man. He's a sweetheart. Have you seen the figurines he carves? The four of us use them to play this delightfully strange game he came up with. I love it because there are so many dice rolls and, well, you know me. Go well.
Let's deal. Don't eat the mushrooms.
What do you need? Many a campaign would have failed if not for his logistical skills. We've trekked through mud, rain, snow and sand, and yet eaten heartily throughout. It's the true basis of war, mind you, logistics. Don't think we don't know that. Don't give up.
So strong. So dedicated. A man like you would never disappoint a lady in need. You're a gift, don't you see? A sumptuous feast for His Majesty on his wedding day. Really, we are both so touched by your generosity.
Born of ocean's mire, and death washed clean of dark desire. And thus the Lord of Salt and Scale sinks to feed the fishes that flit amongst the ruins of Soartha. Come and jest of his divine juices while they are all washed away.
I accept this gift, so that something of the innocent may live on.
How did you? You're still breathing. Bloody barnacles on me arse. You, my new friend, are a legend of the high seas to behold. I tell you what, I've already done my bit getting you here, but if you're looking to sail onto Frisia, me and the Black Crest would be honored to take ya. Hold on to your cockles, me hearty. The sea betwixt here and Frisia be the most ill-tempered there is. Here's hoping you've as much steel in your gizzard as you seem to in your heart. Cast off!
Judging by that rather curious ship and its aberrant captain, I imagine you had rather an interesting voyage here. Now, Inquisitor Maligaro, we must have his soul. He has most certainly returned to his old haunt, yet his manifestations are like wisps on the wind. There one moment, gone the next. While I am familiar with the phantasmal trails and tributaries that filigree this reality, Maligaro's exact whereabouts eludes me. You should speak with these desperates who cling to this broken bridge, that young Templar scholar in particular. Their mundane knowledge must provide where my enlightened sapiens cannot. There was a time before the beast, bathed in the shadows of lost memory, when men and women like you could ascend. Through rareness of quality and the adoration of their people, these few could reach out into the quickening mists of immortality and grasp the power of godhood. Mind you, transcendence is never easy. Like the pains of childbirth, it reeks of agony, tragedy, and sacrifice. The sacrifice most often being of one's humanity. That is simply the way of it. Those of us who seek the immortal throne live long enough to see ourselves become truly monstrous. Judging by that rather curious ship and its aberrant captain, I imagine you had rather an interesting voyage here. Now, Inquisitor Maligaro, we must have his soul. He has most certainly returned to his old haunt, yet his manifestations are like wisps on the wind. There one moment, gone the next. While I am familiar with the phantasmal trails and tributaries that filigree this reality, Maligaro's exact whereabouts eludes me. You should speak with these desperates who cling to this broken bridge, that young Templar scholar in particular. Their mundane knowledge must provide where my enlightened sapiens cannot. Remember, humanity needs us.
What'll I do now? This here broken bridge speaks to me some. A fair place to rest my old bones for a bit. And tell you what, with all this sunlight and fresh air, I can feel the calling forth of the poetic muse beneath me trousers. Been a long time since I felt this here compass point in any direction. Now, speaking of navigations and the like, a long time ago, I had me a nice collection of riches stuffed away in a lockbox. Being the stupid ass that I am, I buried the thing one eve when I was high in my cups. God for the death of me remember where except I knew it was near this broken bridge. The box has a silver locket in it. It holds the portrait of my late wife, Meredith. It's the last thing I have in this world to remember her by. If you happen across my lockbox in your travels, I'd be appreciating of its return. It's a bit of an embarrassing affair, truth be told. Thought I could return to the golden days, you know. Be a terror of the high seas like in my youth. Problem was, they'd all forgotten me.
Those young blighters sailing about, they had no clue who I even were. Figured if I could complete another great feat, like slaying that sea bitch Mervale, maybe that'd earn me my respect back. Suppose I don't need to tell you. That girl is stronger than she looks. All it took were one slip of the old hands, and next I knew, the Black Crest wrecked against the coast, and I'm getting myself eaten alive by that hag. Peeled each separate muscle from my bones, she did. I tell you, it weren't pretty. I know Lily be missing me something great, and it cuts me deep not to go visit the lass. Thing is, I reckon she should remember me as I was, not retch at the sight of the spectre I be now. Let the legend live on in her mind, I say. Think of the worst place ye can imagine. That's Pondium. Now think of the gods be damned best whorehouse you've ever had the pleasure of. That's Pondium. A pirate paradise full of bodies to stab, holes to fill, and devious liquor to imbibe. Brine rots control the whole island and make sure it lives up to the lowest of expectations. Can't imagine much has changed since I was there last. Still, it's a good place to swashbuckle and make love to a bawdy, buxom bunter out back of a boozy bar. Aye, them brine rods be a nasty bunch. Led by me very own flesh and blood, me baby sister Lucy. The rot mother, they call her now. Used to be that I were their leader, back when the brine rots were about one thing, and one thing only, raiding, pillaging, and plundering their scrawny black guts out. Old Lucy were me first mate, for years. But she got a whiff of the power that being captain could gain her, and mutineered me own sister. Dropped me on some deserted island off the coast of somewhere. Bitch. Took months to make it back to the mainland. That brine rot clan's been trouble ever since. Used to have some good old-fashioned pirate on 'em, and now they're raving mad lunatics out for their next fix of fear and fortune. Here our ways divide.
Ah, yes. You do seem to have a penchant for presenting yourself when times are at their most perplexing. It would seem that our Almighty has forsaken us. False deities from ages past now rise and ravage, while our blessed innocence remains as silent as the stones at my feet. So much for Templar propaganda, eh? Well, I suppose if we are to fend for ourselves, then I should answer your troubling arrival with our own most pressing tribulation. The relic that washed ashore and started all the chaos. It was covered in ancient Val inscriptions. The symbols were much weathered, making them challenging to translate. Yet I did my best. The inscriptions spoke of the god Ralakesh. If this object somehow housed the spirit of that many-faced monstrosity, then I fear we are all in danger. Ralakesh was renowned for his penchant for subjugation and control. Please, I urge you to destroy this god before his strength and dominance grow insurmountable. Nip this divine threat in the bud, as it were. Our poor friend, Grust, has likely become Ralakesh's avatar in this world. At least his recent behavior would indicate as much. If you could see to Grust's passing, Ralakesh will be forced to retreat into the relic Destroy the relic, and perhaps you will also destroy the god. Yes, Ralikesh, the god of many faces. I read about this god when I looked after the museum in Theopolis. It said he was obsessed with governance, in particular the control of humanity through our base animal instincts. He ruled over the citizens of one unfortunate Val city. Alas, the name escapes me. Yet I do recall that his experiments brought his subjects to the brink of extinction, and that he was forced to enslave many a primitive Asmerian of the time so as to repopulate his domain. Though I shudder at the thought, I can only imagine that Ralikesh has rather similar plans now. It started with a few mumblings in his slumber, then long forays into the wilds, searching for relics of a distinctly arachnid nature. I thought it a natural extension of Silk's eccentric persona at first. Then came the sleepless nights studying those relics, the fevered recitations in broken Valish, the strange 8-phase rituals. Then one night Silk gathered his collection and scuttled off into the darkness without a word. Silk has always been susceptible to fine fictions. Perhaps he has finally shunned reality altogether. A fascinating case that flies in the face of all that is natural. Whalem is undead for sure. Something we have in spades in Rayclast. But a sentient, reasonable ghost? Now that is rare indeed. When we talk, I feel as if I'm staring into the breach, witnessing that which man was not meant to know. I have theorized about what animates the pirate's essence, how he manages to manifest on this earth once again. I think I shall compile my observations and speculations into a book. Yes. Eramir's Elucidations of Undeath. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? The relic that washed ashore and started all the chaos. It was covered in ancient Val inscriptions. Symbols were much weathered, making them challenging to translate. Yet I did my best. The inscriptions spoke of the god Ralikesh. If this object somehow housed the spirit of that many-faced monstrosity, then I fear we are all in danger. Ralikesh was renowned for his penchant for subjugation and control. Please, I urge you to destroy this god before his strength and dominance grow insurmountable. Nip this divine threat in the bud, as it were. Our poor friend, Grust, has likely become Ralikesh's avatar in this world. At least his recent behavior would indicate as much. If you could see to Grust's passing, Ralikesh will be forced to retreat into the relic. Destroy the relic, and perhaps you will also destroy the god. Keep your wits about you.
You arrive. The Great Spirit spoke in my dreams, told me that darkness would again drown our lands, and you, exile, would walk before the flood. But what is this? You are not alone. A shade, a memory, older even than... No, older than spirit? Fear grips my throat. I shake, but the spirit drapes a warming cloak upon my shoulders. This ancient ghost that follows you, it has the trust of the spirit, and if the spirit trusts, then I trust. My heart weeps for our old home, but what the spirit gives, we must embrace. The spirit, it claims who it needs to, when it needs to. There is no sense in sadness. I watched Silk for many days, scurrying to this old Val stone, scurrying to that old Val ruin, always muttering. He talked and talked and talked, yet I heard no one answer. The spirit warned that I should stay away from him. It pained me. Silk is my friend, yet I must listen to spirit. I go from Silk's side, and now he is gone from mine. I do not know where Silk go, but I see him in dreams. He is caught in great spiderweb that stretch into darkness. And that spiderweb, it is full of bones. More bones from more people than I ever see in my life. If you find Silk, please free him from the web. Don't let him become bones like the rest. Rayclast has changed. Once, I knew my place in this world. I knew my place within the spirit. Now, doorways have opened. Doorways I can neither see nor touch, but through which the spiritless ones pass all the same. The spiritless ones must be driven back. Their doors must be closed. May the Great Spirit guide you in your battles against these ancients that mean us nothing but ill. I belong to no one but the Spirit. I have no need for the sweet words and caresses of a ghost. Whalem, he makes me laugh, and he hears the voice of the Spirit. Not in the same way I do. His Spirit speaks of the great waters beyond this land. He pays heed to the Spirit, and the Spirit loves him for it. I do not. It is better to speak to the dead than no one at all. Whalem knows the Spirit, but he will not know me. Be well.
Turn your back for the barest moment and Rayclast bites you in the proverbial. I imagine that's how you're feeling upon visiting us this time. It's how I feel about now. I'm afraid that the Inquisitor's spirit has indeed returned to the Chamber of Sins. Yet while you won't encounter Meligaro by wandering his halls, I do perhaps know how you can find him. Whilst investigating the Fell Shrine, I learned of the existence of a map, forged by Meligaro from his own viscera. This map allowed him to transfer his spirit into another form of existence, an existential safe house to which he could retreat should death ever attempt to take him. Understanding the map's purpose, Vol tried to destroy it, to no avail. So he locked it away deep within the ruins of Frisia Cathedral. Find that map and place it upon the Reverie device in Meligaro's old laboratory. And when you step over that threshold, expect the very worst. Don't get me wrong, I've witnessed many unsettling things in my lifetime, but a spectral corsair living next door to me? We reside in dark times indeed, when the living need share their quarters with the dead. I didn't think it possible for Silk to grow any more peculiar, but then I've been wrong about so many things since coming to Rayclast that I shouldn't have been at all surprised. Still, it's interesting that his behavior of late has mirrored that of certain Templar zealots I had the dubious pleasure of meeting back in Theopolis. Like them, Silk appeared obsessed with finding answers to this reality in some ethereal realm of divinity. For my part, I prefer to keep faith in this world. The answers that come from beyond are seldom the ones we want. My poor Groost, a kind man, a strong man. And now, I begged him not to meddle with that relic. It washed ashore after the earthquake, and Groost simply had to know whether it was a danger to us. To me. The unholy thing within that device. It possessed Groost, turned him into a monstrosity. We fled the village, and as I turned back, I saw he was killing them. The stragglers, killing them all, even the children. My Groost is dead. That thing that has stolen his body. Please, destroy it. I'm aware that you and Groost had something of a commercial relationship prior to his accident. As is the Asmeri custom, Groost's few possessions have now passed to me. I'm by no means the warrior he was, yet I know my blades and bows well enough. At least it's something I can do to honor his memory, and to keep my mind off things. Till next time, shall we keep, Savior?
Thank the gods. You're no saint, I can see that. Though, who am I to question what form divine providence comes in? I am the great Alva Valai, reliquarian extraordinaire. A seeker of mysteries, explorer of the unknown, lover of all things that glitter, and I need your help. The lost temple at Atsuat. Halls lined with finery, boxes stuffed with glimmering riches, and relics touched by insurmountable power. For eons lost to history, until now. I believe the secret of its location lies in the Foul City, which until very recently was submerged and completely unreachable. But with all that's going on, the city has risen from the depths and, well, it's still completely unreachable. It seems the only way to even get close is across the river, and the only crossing is overrun with bandits. I've a plan that could make both of us unbelievably wealthy, but perhaps one day. I believe the secret of its location lies in the Foul City, which until very recently was submerged and completely unreachable. But with all that's going on, the city has risen from the depths and, well, it's still completely unreachable. It seems the only way to even get close is across the river, and the only crossing is overrun with bandits. I've a plan that could make both of us unbelievably wealthy, but perhaps one day. Bye.
You are well.
door.
Turn your back for the barest moment and Rayclast bites you in the proverbial. I imagine that's how you're feeling upon visit. Keep your life to your own.
My help is yours. Remember to live.
Hello.
What do you need?
Need something? Good luck.
Let's deal.